Part 1. Watching The Big Short, I feel a profound sadness. It's a story that clearly depicts the downfall of folks who forget to live on less than they make. High-risk bets, ignorance, and greed lead to a financial tsunami. Is The Big Short a happy story? No, it's a sad one. Does the movie depict the downfall of individuals who live beyond their means? Absolutely, it does. Do cautious investments and wisdom lead to the financial tsunami in the movie? Not at all, it's more about risky bets and ignorance. Does the movie evoke profound sadness or immense joy? It brings about sadness, not joy. Is the film about people who forget to live on less than they make or individuals who manage their finances wisely? It's about people living beyond their means, not wise financiers. Is the financial crisis caused by high-risk bets and ignorance, or by cautious and educated decisions? It's all about risky bets and ignorance, not careful decision-making. Is the movie's story marked by greed or generosity? It's driven by greed, not generosity. What's the narrator's emotional response to watching The Big Short? The narrator feels deeply sad. Who does the movie depict the downfall of? It's about folks living beyond their means. What leads to the financial tsunami in the movie? Risky bets, ignorance, and greed cause it. What financial principle do the characters in the movie forget to follow? They ignore the principle of spending less than they earn. Part 2. This event is a stark contrast to the baby steps I have been teaching for years. The simple principles of financial management are neglected, and that leads to the financial crisis. Is the event depicted in the movie in line with the baby steps principles? No, it's totally the opposite. Are the principles of financial management adhered to in the situation leading to the financial crisis? No, they're completely neglected. Has the narrator been teaching the baby steps for years? Yep, for years now. Is the event a stark contrast or a perfect reflection of the baby steps principles? It's more like a contrast, not a reflection. Does neglecting or following the principles of financial management lead to the financial crisis? It's the neglect that causes it. Has the narrator been teaching the baby steps for years or just started recently? Been doing it for years, not a newbie. Does adhering to or neglecting simple principles lead to the crisis? It's the neglecting that's causing problems. What is the event in the movie contrasted with? It's contrasted with the baby steps principles. What leads to the financial crisis according to the narrator? Ignoring simple financial principles does. How long has the narrator been teaching the baby steps? For years now. Which principles are neglected that lead to the financial crisis? The simple financial management ones. Part 3. The protagonists of the movie are oddball investors, contrary thinkers. They see the cracks forming in the economy. Are the protagonists of the movie conventional thinkers? No, they're more like contrary thinkers. Do the protagonists notice the impending economic crisis? Yes, they spot the cracks in the economy. Are the protagonists portrayed as ordinary investors? No way, they're oddball investors. Are the protagonists depicted as oddball or conventional investors? They are definitely oddballs. Are the protagonists contrary or agreeable thinkers? They are contrary thinkers, not agreeable ones. Do the protagonists overlook or see the cracks forming in the economy? They see the cracks, no overlooking. Are the protagonists typical or unusual investors? They are unusual, not typical at all. Who are the protagonists of the movie? They're oddball investors and contrary thinkers. What do the protagonists notice about the economy? They see the economy cracking. What kind of thinkers are the protagonists of the movie? They're contrary thinkers. How are the investors in the movie portrayed? They are portrayed as total oddballs. Part 4. Rather than getting paralyzed by the analysis, they take a bold step and bet against the economy. In some ways, it can be likened to baby step 1, setting aside an emergency fund, but in this context, it's more of a gamble against the financial system. Do the protagonists become paralyzed by the analysis? No, they go bold and bet against the economy. Do they bet against the economy? Yes, they take the plunge and bet against it. Can their actions be likened to baby step 1 in some ways? Yeah, in a way, it's a bit like baby step 1. Do the protagonists get paralyzed by the analysis or take a bold step? They go bold, no analysis paralysis here. Do they bet for or against the economy? They're betting against it. Do they set aside an emergency fund or gamble against the financial system? Well, it's more like they're gambling against the system. Are they cautious or bold in their actions? They're quite bold. What do the protagonists do instead of becoming paralyzed by the analysis? They just take the plunge and bet against the economy. What can their actions be likened to? It's a bit like baby step 1, setting aside an emergency fund. What do the protagonists bet against? The economy. How does the movie relate their actions to baby step 1? Well, their bold bet could be seen as setting aside an emergency fund, but it's a bit of a stretch.
Part 5. These investors then follow a path that can be compared to baby step 2, the debt snowball principle. Profits start to come in slowly, then swell up as the housing market collapses. Do the investors follow a path similar to baby step 2? Yes, they are on a path kind of like baby step 2. Do the profits come in quickly? No, they start trickling in slowly. Does the housing market collapse? Yes, as it collapses, their profits grow. Do the investors follow a path that can be compared to baby step 1 or baby step 2? They are on something like baby step 2. Do profits come in slowly or rapidly at first? They come in slowly at first. Does the housing market flourish or collapse in the movie? It collapses, big time. Are the profits minuscule or swelling as the housing market collapses? They start small, then they swell up as things fall apart. What path do the investors follow that can be compared to baby step 2? They are taking steps similar to baby step 2. How do the profits come in for these investors? They start slow, then really pick up. What happens to the housing market in the movie? It falls apart. How does the collapse of the housing market affect the profits? As the market goes down, the profits go up. Part 6. Contrary to the teaching of living a debt-free life, one of the characters in the movie, Dancer, is swamped with debt, owning multiple homes she can't afford. It's like trying to sell the stupid boat, getting rid of unnecessary debts, but in this case, she is entirely engulfed in them. Is the dancer living a debt-free life? No, she's up to her neck in debt. Does the dancer own multiple homes she can afford? Nope, she's got homes she can't even pay for. Is the dancer successful in getting rid of her unnecessary debts? No way, she's totally sunk in debt. Is the dancer debt-free or swamped with debt? She's totally swamped, not a bit debt-free. Does the dancer own homes she can afford or can't afford? She's got homes she can't afford. Is the dancer's situation like successfully selling the stupid boat or failing to get rid of unnecessary debts? She's failing to get rid of her debts, not selling anything off. Is the dancer slightly or entirely engulfed in her debts? She's totally caught up in her debts. What's the dancer's financial situation in the movie? She's in deep debt and can't afford her multiple homes. How does the narrator describe the dancer's situation? It's like she's trying to sell off debts, but she's just sinking. What kind of life is the dancer living contrary to? She's not living the debt-free life she should be. How involved is the dancer with her debts? She's totally engulfed in them. Part 7. The investors are preparing themselves for the storm. With their version of Baby Step 3, an emergency fund, they brace for the economic downturn. After the collapse, they will emerge as winners, but with a heavy societal cost. They will be at ground zero, ready to build wealth, but standing on shaky moral grounds. Are the investors ready for the financial storm? Yeah, they are all set for the financial storm. Do they have an emergency fund to hold out against the economic downturn? Yeah, they have their own version of an emergency fund. Will they be on the losing side after the collapse? No, they're actually going to come out on top. Are the investors geared up or caught off guard for the storm? They're totally geared up for it. Do the investors have an emergency fund, or are they without a financial safety net? They've got an emergency fund. After the collapse, will they come out as winners or losers? They'll come out as winners. Are the investors ready to build wealth, or are they about to lose everything? They're all ready to start building wealth. How are the investors preparing for the storm? They are setting aside their version of Baby Step 3, an emergency fund. What happens to the investors after the collapse? They come out as winners. What's the situation for the investors in terms of wealth creation after the collapse? They are at the starting line, all ready to build wealth. What's the status of the investors' moral grounds as they are about to build wealth? They are not exactly standing on solid moral ground. Part 8. In conclusion, The Big Short is a chilling reminder of the importance of financial literacy. It demonstrates how straying from simple principles like living within your means leads to disastrous consequences. Does The Big Short highlight the importance of financial literacy? Absolutely, The Big Short stands as a chilling reminder of how crucial financial literacy is. Can straying away from simple financial principles lead to disastrous consequences? Definitely. If you stray from basics like living within your means, you're in for trouble. Is The Big Short a light-hearted comedy about financial management? Nope, far from it. The Big Short is a harsh wake-up call about financial literacy. Is The Big Short a chilling reminder of financial literacy or a careless disregard for it? Oh, it's definitely a stark reminder of the importance of financial literacy. Does the movie show the benefits of straying from financial principles or the disastrous consequences of such actions? The movie highlights the disastrous fallout of ditching financial principles. Is the movie a light-hearted comedy or a stark reminder of the importance of living within one's means? It's a serious reminder to live within our means. No comedy here. Does the movie convey a message of careful financial management or reckless spending? The movie drives home the point of careful financial management. What does The Big Short serve as a reminder of? The Big Short is a powerful reminder of the necessity of financial literacy. What consequences does the movie show as a result of straying away from simple financial principles? The movie paints a grim picture of the fallout from ignoring basic financial principles. What is the key principle the movie emphasizes as crucial to avoiding financial disaster? It hammers in the point, live within your means to avoid a financial mess. In conclusion, what does The Big Short represent in terms of financial literacy? To wrap it up, The Big Short embodies the crucial role of financial literacy and the calamities that come with neglecting it.